Okay, so in the last video we looked at the formula for constructing a major scale. Right, we learnt that we have our starting note here. Let's make that a C, and then we learnt that we move up a tone, and then a semitone, and then a tone, and then a tone, another tone, and finishing with a semi. Right, so then the notes of that would be C, D, E, and then a semitone up would be F, G, A, B, and then finishing off the semitone. And we didn't look at what that looks like on the stave, right, on the staff. So let's quickly do that now, but it should be fairly straightforward now. We have our middle C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Am I right? No, I'm a semitone out, but that's all right. For the purposes of this video, we are not talking about perfect pitch, and relatively that was, I guess, correct. Okay, so what did I want to say here? Now you can see the relationship between tones and semitones on the staff as well as on the keyboard, right? So we worked out that C to D, that was the tone, right? Then that was another tone. Now this was our semitone. Now let me do this a bit clearer. Let's do it like this. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. All right, this is exactly the same as this, what's written here, right? And then we worked out that this from C to D, that's the tone, right? So C to D is a tone, D to E is a tone. From E to F, that's a semitone. F to G, tone. G to A, tone. A to B, tone. And then B to C, that was our semi. Right, so this here is this right here, right? How it looks on the keyboard. Now let's have a look at it on the manuscript, right? So we have our starting note. We know that from our starting note, we have tone. C to D is a tone. D to E is a tone. E, let me do it underneath. D to F is our semitone, right? E to F. E to F is our semitone. E to F. Okay, makes sense. Semitone, shortest distance. Shortest distance from E up is F. Okay, makes sense. Good. Right? Let's keep going. F to G is our tone. G to A is our tone. A to B is our tone. And then B to C is our semitone. So that is the formula for a major scale, starting from middle C, starting from C major scale, starting middle C, and that's what the tones and semitones, that's how it looks on the staff, and that should make sense to us by now. Okay, so what I want to do okay, that's all right. I think I might have just saved over my template, but that's all right. Let me actually I might just pause this for a moment. Okay, it turns out I did actually save over my template, but that's okay, that doesn't matter. I've fixed it and now we're ready to go. Now what we want to do for the rest of this video is to just work out one different major scale together, right? So let's do G major scale, right? Okay, so you see that, you should immediately say, okay, that's fine. I know the formula for a major scale. That is, we take a starting note, right? And then we move up a tone, we move up another tone, then we move up a semitone, right? Then we move up another tone, another tone, another tone, and then finally finish with our semitone. right? So, okay, now in this case, we've said G major, right? So G is our starting note. G, right? Let's do the G above middle C, right? So let's say that this is middle C, right? So we're going to start with G. Okay, now there's G. See if maybe you can pause this video, try to work out the notes of G major scale, and then press play to see if you got it right. Alright, so if you've done that, if you've paused it, and you are now ready to check if you've got it right, let's work out what we have. Remember, a tone, 2 semitones. So let's work out G up 2 semitones. There's 1, there's 2, this is A. Yep, A is our second note. Up another tone, that's 1 semitone, 2 semitones. This is B. Good, there's B. We need a semitone above, C. Okay, C. Up a tone from C, there's 1 semitone, there's 2 semitones, that is our D. Up another tone from D, we need 2 semitones, right? So there's 1, there's 2, that is our E. Let's move up a tone from E. E, there's 1 semitone, there's 2 semitones. This note here, we need to know the name of it. What note is it? Because we're moving up, let's just use the sharp one. Let's just, for now, let's just use the sharp. So E, it is an F sharp. Does that make sense? I hope so. F sharp. Let's, in case we're not 100% sure how we got there, let's just finish it off and then we'll work out again. So a semitone up from F sharp finishes us off at G. Okay, so this should have all been fairly straightforward until we got maybe to here, and then some of us might have thought, ooh, hang on, what just happened there? So remember, we got to E, that's here. We got to E, let me change colors. I'll do it in maybe this color, right? So we got to E, there's E, right? There's our E. Now we needed a tone up from E. Remember, a tone is 2 semitones. E, there's 1 semitone. E to F is a semitone. We can't get shorter between E and F. Can't get a smaller distance. There's no black note here, right? There's no black note there. It doesn't exist. E to F is 1 semitone. We need 2 semitones for a tone. Okay? E to F is 1. F to this note is the note we need. So what note is it? This note here, what is it? I'll put a question mark on it. Well, we know this is F. This is G. So it could be an F sharp or a G flat. We're going to go with F sharp this time. Okay, so F sharp is how we got to that. If you're still confused, I encourage you to rewind, maybe watch the previous video on accidentals to work out how we got to understand that was an F sharp, and you should, if you're still confused, I encourage you to watch it again. Okay, so now let's just, we've got our notes here now for our G major scale, right? To play it, let's just see if we can play it. I'm going to have to sing it for you again. There's G, there's... I'll try to sing it a bit lower so I don't go too high. G. Ready? So here we go. I'll go from here. Ready? G, A, B, C, D, E, Fis, G. Now you'll notice I sang Fis. The reason I did that is because it's a little bit hard to sing E, F sharp, G. So Fis or F sharp is that note that I sang, and then I finished on a G, right? And I just went up. I could come down. G, Fis, E, D, C, B, A, G. Okay? That sounded like a major scale. It didn't sound crazy. It sounded kind of happy, and all those, it sounded just like the C major scale, but I'm starting on a different note. Okay, so the notes though are different. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Let's go back to our staff and let's write G major scale in here. Okay, so there's G, A, B, what was the next one? G, A, B, C, D, E, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Right, okay. F sharp. So how do we write F sharp? We've got F sharp. Do we just write sharp? No, because we've got that little symbol. Okay, F sharp. Do we do F sharp like that? Like you do here, F sharp. Well, it makes sense, right? But it's actually not right. What you have to do with sharps and flats and accidentals, you don't put them on the right, you put them just before on the left. Right? Now you might have noticed I took quite a bit of care when I just drew that sharp. If you just go like this, well that's a very bad habit to get into, and we'll talk about that maybe more in another video. But let me just zoom up here. Let's say you've got your line, your top line, and there's your F right in the middle. You want to make sure when you're doing an F sharp that the line runs in between, kind of in the center of the sharp. Okay, and the same with the flat. If we were doing a flat, you'd want to make sure that your flat, the B part, runs right in the center. Okay, that's a good habit to get into, and I encourage you to make sure that you do your sharps and flats exactly like that. All right, so let's go back up here. We need our F sharp. So let's draw our F sharp. F sharp, finishing on a G. So let's check. Let's check. We've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So we've got G to A. Let's check if that's a tone. That's a tone. Let's check from A to B. So A to B is also a tone. So then B to C, let's just check that was right. B to C is a semitone, right? B to C is a semitone. C to D, we needed that. That was our tone, right? That was our tone. D to E is our tone. E to F sharp is our semitone. I'll put semitone under here. And then F sharp to G was our tone. Right, so that definitely follows the formula for the major scale. Tone, starting note here, then tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. That's my mistake there, semitone. I messed that up. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. E to F sharp was our tone, I beg your pardon. And F sharp to G was our semitone. Right, so there you see we have set up our G major scale just using this formula, which is the formula that we originally said was very important, the formula for our major scale. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.